Welcome to the Psy in Dubai podcast. I've got DJ SAMRA sat in front of me over here.
Hello.
Now we're going to just spend a little bit of time just getting to know him a little bit more, just understanding a little bit more about where he's come from, as well as a little bit more about music, just so that you guys can get a better understanding of your favorite DJs. So welcome to the studio, SAMRA.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Amazing, amazing. So for those that are watching that, love listening to your music, even those that maybe don't, what do we need to know about SAMRA?
All right. First of all, I'm very happy to be here in Dubai. It's an amazing place. I'm coming from Israel. I was born there, Israeli. I make music since a while, since even more than a decade, but
Really?
basically like in a professional way, like in the last 6 to 8 years.
Amazing.
But I was always into music, and I was playing violin when I was 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
So I think it gave me like a musical background. But anyway, music was always around me. My family always loved to bring like new music. My brothers also always brought the freshest stuff.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah. So that's about music.
Yeah,
Besides that,
So why don't we stop? So where in Israel are you from?
I'm from Ramat Gan. It's
Okay.
a city close to Tel Aviv, in the center of Israel.
Got you. Amazing. All right. And you said, that's where you were born.
Yeah.
Born and raised there. You still living there?
Yeah. Yeah,
Amazing.
still, yeah.
Amazing. So how sort of big is your family?
I am the middle one. We are 3 brothers.
Yeah.
And I'm the middle one. I'm 34 years old.
Yeah.
And my older brother is 37, and my little brother is 29.
Amazing. And you said you guys are all quite into music then. It's not sort of just you. Are you the only one that sort of DJs, or does anybody else in your family also get on the decks?
Yeah, so I'm the only one who really took it to like a professional way. But my brothers are like always into music, always love to hear music and to listen to music and to discover new stuff. And we always like recommend music to each other. Like we have our own WhatsApp group, sending links and stuff like that.
Got you.
So yeah.
So what kind of sort of music does your family listen to? Is there any specific? Is it psytrance, or is it kind of is it like rock, or what does your family normally sort of like listen to?
Mostly electronic, I would say. Mostly electronic, not like EDM stuff, but more of kind of techno, melodic house, melodic techno, Afro house, stuff like that.
Got you.
But yeah, that's mostly.
All sorts of stuff, yeah. So when would you say that you started to really, really focus on sort of DJing? And was it always psytrance, or before psytrance was there something before that?
So I was I think the first I was first falling in love with psytrance when I started to listen to Infected Mushroom and Skazi and Eskimo. Back then, when I was like maybe 15 years ago.
Wow, okay.
But that's when I only discovered it.
Okay.
I was not immediately discovered it and then wanted to get professional. I wanted to make it like a profession.
Okay, so you just heard it, you enjoyed it, but you never really thought, okay.
Yeah, exactly. I heard it and I listened to it.
Yeah.
But I was always wanted to understand, what am I hearing? I started to to deconstruct what I'm hearing into layers in my head.
Yeah.
And I started to listen to the music even more carefully and to understand what is this one sound?
Yeah.
What is this? How did they do it? How did they? What is it made from?
Okay.
So that's where I started to. After I was really in love with this genre and style, I started to just like playing around with music software, music production software. It was Fruity Loops back then.
Oh wow! I've actually even heard of that. I've never.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never been to myself, but I've definitely heard the name. So what exactly was Fruity Loops? Just like the old school sort of like production software, or?
Yeah, basically I would not say it's old school. It's just one of
Okay.
a few.
Got
There
you.
are few music software, music production softwares out there. You have Cubase, which I work with, Ableton, Fruity Loops, and stuff. So
Okay.
that was like Fruity Loops was just like, for me, was just the most intuitive software that I wanted to get to know, and it was very easy to use.
And do you still use it?
So today I use Cubase.
Okay.
But Fruity Loops is definitely one of the best.
Yeah.
Cubase is also one of the best. Ableton is one of the best.
So what would you recommend any sort of, up and coming artists, young artists that are looking to sort of, create their own music? What platform would you recommend that they use?
My recommendation for new artists that want to play around with softwares is, first of all, try at least 2 to 3 softwares. And the best of software for you, it will be the software that you feel the most creative, that you have the best flow.
Got you.
There is no very significant difference between the softwares.
Yep.
Not in terms of sound, not in terms of anything, but just it will be more, let's say, suitable for you.
Yep.
Where your flow will be the best, your workflow will be the best.
Got
where you
you.
find yourself, where you're not stuck and you have your own environment.
Yep.
So this is my recommendation.
Amazing. Okay, so you started playing around with it. You realized, you really sort of enjoyed the sounds and putting it all together. Now, when did you come up with the name SAMRA?
Oh,
how is that name?
So basically, I was born with that name because it's my family name. So that's a bonus fact. And to be honest, I was not sure that I will keep with that name. Because it was like, okay, let's start a project. We'll call it SAMRA, like my family name. Like my friends always call me Samra. They barely call my private name Tal.
Okay.
It's just like, like a nickname that became from the family name.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, let's flow with that. And it just became the project. And then I started releasing music, and I was like, okay, something is going on.
Yeah.
I will not stop and now roll back and then start to choose a different name.
Yeah.
So so it's like that.
Amazing. Did you have any other names in mind that you thought before SAMRA? Did you have any other ones you were playing around with, or it was always kind of SAMRA and kind of just stayed with that?
Yeah, I think I had few, but they were too complicated for
Got you.
like two double meanings, which I really like, basically.
Double
meanings.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I stayed with the SAMRA. By the way, SAMRA means it's my family name.
Yeah.
Is the meaning is in Arabic.
Yeah.
SAMRA is kind of a brownish color.
Okay.
Brown black kind of.
Yeah.
It's a word in Arabic, because my roots, basically my grandparents' roots are half from Iraq and half from Poland. So this is basically how Israel is made of. All Jews around the world just came to Israel, and from all of the world, all countries.
Yes.
And mixed marriage and stuff. So this is how this is my roots are basically from those countries.
Wow. So you're proper little blend.
Yeah. Blend. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay. So now, how would you describe the style of psytrance that SAMRA plays?
Yeah. I would describe it as a fusion between progressive psytrance and psychedelic trance. Basically, influence from the full-on energy, but also from the pumping progressive beats. And I always try to insert and to add melodies and emotions, because I find it personally, this is what I find in our genre.
Yeah.
No, not always a lot of melodies and a lot of emotions, because psytrance is a lot of it's a lot about beat and deep groove and power and like alien sounds, if I try to simplify it for the for the normal listener.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel that an emotion and melodies are missing.
Yes.
So that's why I'm trying to bring more of that.
Yeah.
Which I find inspiration and influence from the melodic techno and the melodic house genre, because they use a lot of atmosphere techniques and, and melodies and a lot of, they try to give you like a message through their music. So that's what I'm trying to do as well.
Amazing. Because I mean, you've obviously you experiment. You said you've now got a kind of like a house alias sort of, so you're able to take the influences from other genres, from genres that you're equally interested in and sort of passionate about, and then able to sort of fusion that together.
Right. Yeah.
So tell me a little bit more about this other sort of alias project that you starting.
Yeah. So like really recently in the last few months, I launched a new project called Voya. The name is basically like a short name of voyage, like a journey, like a way, like a path.
Okay.
So that's what I wanted to. That's why I chose this name. Mm-hmm. It's a kind of melodic house project.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to keep it as is, and not to be like too like all over with different genres and stuff. And I'm trying to bring like more a melodic tech vibe into it. So I had a release a few months ago in a big label called Enormous Tunes, and I have another one in 2 months, and I build it slowly.
Yeah.
It's not my main focus for now.
Got you.
Because my main focus is my psytrance project.
Yeah.
But it is something that I really, really like. I really enjoy producing it.
Yeah.
I really enjoy making those beats and creating a groove. It's a bit challenging also for me because if you listen to my music, you will find that I'm always trying to bring another element, like not to leave a blank space in the groove. Like it's when I build it, it builds a bit faster than the usual psytrance.
Got you.
So, and then in the house genre, it is much more different. You have to build everything much more slowly, not too many changes, and not too many surprises. You have to keep on a known template.
Yeah. So that must be quite interesting, though. It must be really, really cool being able to, experiment with that and then experiment with your SAMRA project. And I feel like by learning all these different styles and learning how to produce different styles, it's really going to sort of help aid that SAMRA project and, really sort of bring something very, very different, because I see it must be quite challenging as an artist. There's a lot of competition these days. Right. Everyone has access to being able to create music. Hey, right. Being able to create music has probably never been easier for just the entry level person coming in, which obviously increases competition on Spotify and makes it more difficult for you to get your name out and for Spotify to hear your music. Right. So I think that's super, super interesting. So now tell me, the music under SAMRA, is there any sort of labels that you release your music under, or how do you get your music into the mainstream?
The psytrance
mainstream, yeah.
So it began from where I decided to take my project more seriously.
Yeah.
If we go back a little bit to your previous question, you asked me about if I created more styles.
Yeah.
So when I worked around with Fruity Loops with the music software, I was trying to. I created a lot of stuff like hip hop and rap and rock. And like really like progressive rock, stuff, just stuff, sketches to myself. And then I really liked everything. But then I understood, okay, I have to focus on something because I cannot make SAMRA everything.
Yes.
You have to focus on a specific genre to bring your message.
Yes.
And then I started to Then I decided, okay, I'm going for it. I'm going to make my SAMRA project. Created a Facebook page, SoundCloud. In the beginning, I was releasing music just like for free, SoundCloud.
Yes.
Free download and stuff like free download remixes.
Yeah.
And then my first release was on New Tech Records.
Yeah.
Back in 2017, 18. That was my first release.
Yeah.
And then another one. And then another collaboration, everything under New Tech Records. I think I had like 2 years of releases on that label. So New Tech Records is like, today is a bit smaller, like it's still known, but is less than the past. In the past, it was the label where Azax Syndrome was releasing music, Bliss, Blastoise, Painkiller, all those big shots, and after that, I had a few releases on Yono Records, and then later on it became bigger on Shamanic Tales and Iboga Records, and all of these releases were throughout like maybe 3 to 4 years in a row. So I had like New Tech and then Yono and then Shamanic Tales, Iboga Records. I had also a collaboration with Erez Eisen from Infected Mushroom. Where he established a label and an artist agency called Area 51. So we worked together like for 2 years, kind of. So it was during COVID and stuff, so it was a bit hard to to push things and stuff. So, but we at least released a lot of music together. So it was amazing to work with such a legend.
Is that why you work with specific? Like I've always wondered, why do you not just release through one label? Why do you release through multiple labels? And what do labels bring the DJs? Why would I want to release under a specific label?
Yeah, that's a good question. So let's say my goal in releasing with labels is mostly to get my music basically, signed. And as the bigger the label, so the better, of course. But first of all, to get my music signed and distributed, because in the beginning you really don't know how to do all this stuff, how to distribute to Spotify, how to distribute to all the streaming platforms. So this is one reason. The other reason is the next reason is also to get more exposure for your music, because the label has like a crowd, like a listeners crowd. So they bring exposure to your music. People get to know you through your music, and when the label is really big, for example, like Shamanic Tales, Iboga Records, and all those labels. There is also another thing that it's kind of like a sign, like not sign, sorry, kind of a quality signature, I would say.
If that label is going to sign you, then you must have a certain quality and standard of artist.
It's kind of like, okay, you released on Shamanic Tales, okay, it's probably a good music, or it's probably a quality music. Of course, it's a matter of taste. No magic happens when you release something on the biggest level. The music should be at the first place. In the first place, the music should be good. The music should be fine, with a message, with a nice content, with a hook, or with something that will, of course, listeners will love. Labels will not do the magic for you. So that's why sometimes people also choose to release by themselves, to release independently, which I also had in the last year. I had few releases that I chose to release independently.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is there a label which you dream to release through? Is there any one specific label which you're like, that would be the ultimate label for you as an artist to release through?
I think, to be honest, on psytrance, I pretty much accomplished all my dream labels.
Amazing.
But in the house music, not yet.
Of course, of
because
course.
I'm still fresh.
Yeah.
So I have a few on my list on the house. But definitely the psytrance, like to be able to release in those labels for me is
Amazing.
something that I'm not taking for granted. It's like it's still an amazing experience, and it's still something that I'm not like waking up in the morning and I'm getting used to it. It's something that I'm very happy for.
Amazing. So now let's go to festivals, right? How many festivals would you say that you've played at?
Wow, that's a good question. Hard one.
Yeah. No,
I think more than 20.
Amazing.
More than 20, 30, something like that.
And anyone in particular that you can highlight? I'm sure you've had great experiences at all of them, but is there any particular festival that brings back memories and really sort of would say is probably your favorite festival to have played at?
Yeah. Sign Dubai.
Yeah. Can't just say that because you're saying you know?
Yeah. So except Sign Dubai.
Yeah.
Esoteric Festival in Australia, one of the best festivals on the planet. Really, like it's like everything. It's like you have 7 stages. It's a 1-week festival, 7 stages. I played on the main stage because the main festival is dedicated for psytrance.
Yes. Okay.
But they have also like a bush techno stage, and they have live shows, and everything is like in one huge venue.
Yeah.
Everything is about art, and you see a lot of paints and a lot of everything is so well organized, basically.
Got you.
So I'm about to play there also next March.
Amazing.
I play there March 2023.
Yeah.
I have my full set on my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So that's Esoteric in Australia.
Yeah.
But also in Brazil.
Yeah.
Baoba Festival,
Oof.
which I was playing a set. It was, I think, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, before COVID.
Yeah.
So it was a set that I was playing by myself.
Yeah.
And then I think a year later, I had a back-to-back with All in One.
Yeah.
With Yanir. It was a massive experience.
Amazing.
Yeah. That was like, it's really hard to transform the feeling of being on such stages.
Yeah.
Because it's something that even if you will see it through your favorite artist Instagram story.
Yeah.
Or through YouTube video.
Yeah.
Full set or something. But the moment that you're there and you see the amount of people and your music, that you worked on your music in your small studio back in in Israel, and you have the ability to play it out loud in such a big system, and people are enjoying it. It's like a big closure for what we do in the first place.
Yeah, 100%.
It's like, it's basically what we. Specifically, I feel like that this is the main purpose for why we do it. Of course, to make people happy, and to bring and to use music to bring a message and to transform a message.
Yeah.
Transmit. Sorry.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, the main purpose of creating it from the first place.
Yeah.
The bonus, of course, is to be able to see new places around the world, to meet new people, meet new cultures. That's a huge bonus.
Yeah.
But the main purpose is, first of all, to translate your emotions into music,
and then be able to share that with the crowd. It must be such an incredible feeling. Because how many people were there at was it Mobile Festival? How many people in the crowd would you probably reckon?
I think around 15K. Yeah.
Do you get nervous when you go up there and your adrenaline must be going?
Yeah. I must be honest that even until today.
Yeah.
From the smallest parties to the biggest parties.
Yeah.
I'm still excited.
Yeah.
I'm still nervous.
Yeah.
Of course, when the party is big, as big as it is, so
Yeah.
I'm getting even
More
more nervous.
Yeah.
But even like when I'm going to smaller parties, like
Yeah.
200, 300 people, 100,
Yeah.
1K,
Yeah.
still you're getting excited because that like you're getting there.
Yeah.
This is your time,
Yeah.
showtime, money
Yeah,
time.
showtime.
So it's like it's a thing.
Yeah. No, I can just imagine how nerve-wracking it must be. What do you get nervous of? Is it just the occasional? What is it? Maybe something going wrong? What makes you nervous?
I think that two things. First of all, the expectation. Mm-hmm. You expect something a long time, and then when it comes, you want it to be perfect. You want it to be at least as you expected it to be. But when you're playing live, things can also go wrong, like wrong mix, wrong. Maybe you chose the wrong, not wrong, but not the best track for the best moment.
Okay.
You could play a track maybe later or mixed with other.
Because you're obviously reading the crowd as well.
Reading the crowd, yeah.
Now, what's that like? Because when DJs say that you guys like read the crowd, do you improvise on your sets when you can see maybe the crowd's not sort of giving you the reaction you're wanting, so you put in something maybe a little bit faster, or how do you read that? What does it mean when a DJ says that they read the crowd?
So reading the crowd, is about understanding the vibe or what they like, what they will like, and what are they. What they will best respond to, respond the best to. So sometimes you can improvise and cut some parts of the track and jump over. You have like hot cues on your track, like that you prepared before on your software. Like cue points that you can jump over between them. I sometimes personally I like to make edits for my tracks. Meaning that I have the original track. And I kind of rearrange it. To be more suitable that it will fit for
that crowd.
A specific crowd.
Kind of like with Signed By, it was more progressive style.
Exactly.
So you went and you chopped up all the tracks and stuff, and you played where the drops were and that kind of stuff.
Exactly. You're ready to be DJ.
There we go. I'm ready.
You're there.
You're gonna see me sit back to back.
Yeah.
SAMRA and me. Okay. Awesome. Now, as a DJ, right? Do you drink much? Do you take drugs? Like, obviously music is such an inclusive thing for that kind of thing, especially with psytrance. But you as a DJ having to be a professional, are you still able to indulge in those things, or do you keep it strictly professional and business? How do you sort of like operate from that realm?
So, I'm not using drugs. Of course, while I'm playing, that's for sure. But I'm trying to keep myself so focused. I'm not drinking too much during my set. I'm not against it, by the way. After your set, why not drink something, but not lose yourself, of course. But I'm trying to be as focused as I can, and not mix too much, materials.
Because I guess you can't really do DJs when they go up, or do DJs drink quite a lot and stuff like that, or are most DJs quite sort of focused?
I would say maybe most of them are focused when they play. Some of them just like to drink. Some of them are focused while they're. It makes them more focused. Basically. Some DJs are also like smoke during the set, cigarettes, or smoke like weed or something, because that makes them more focused.
So it's different. So, different for different people.
It is. It is different, and basically I'm not against it, but. For me personally, I prefer to be more focused while I'm playing. After that, why not drinking a beer or something just to enjoy the party
Yeah.
and relieve the stress and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
100%. Okay, awesome. And do you have any exciting sort of releases coming up with
Yeah.
with any sort of other artists, any collaborations, or what's that looking like?
Yeah. So I have my upcoming release will be a collaboration with Toxic, Israeli guys, Israeli duo. They're rocking. So we have a release like I think in 3 weeks from now,
Amazing.
even less.
Yeah.
On Iboga Records.
Yep.
Massive track. I opened my set yesterday with that track.
Yeah.
Like African rhythm track, melodies,
Amazing.
pumping beats. You know, everything.
Yeah.
Really like one of my favorites tracks recently.
Amazing.
After that, I have another release on Sacred Technology,
Yeah.
which I started to release also there.
Yeah.
My music, and if I'm connecting to your previous question about labels.
Yeah.
Sacred Technology, for example, is more of a psychedelic trance full-on label.
Yeah.
But for me, it was also a decision to release my one of my tracks there.
Yeah.
Also to get exposed to a different subgenre of psytrance, to get more people from other subgenres to get to know me.
Yeah.
So that will be my second release.
Yeah.
I think in a month.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of new music
coming through.
Yeah, coming. Yeah,
amazing.
In the making.
Super exciting. And in terms of sort of gigs sort of lined up, I know you said you've got that one in Australia. What else do you sort of have lined up, you know, for the rest of the year and going into early next year?
So I have few gigs that are really like about to be closed, you know, all the small details.
Yeah.
I have a lot of gigs also in Israel in the next month and during 2025 too. Yeah, so it's
amazing.
Yeah.
And what is the psytrance scene like in Israel for those that don't know? Obviously, you know, Israel is one of the biggest in the world, but it'd be interesting to hear from someone like yourself.
Yeah. So the psytrance scene in Israel is very, very special. Very.
Mm-hmm.
I think, you know, Israel is psytrance and Israel just works perfectly together.
Mm-hmm.
One of the reasons is because Israel is such, I would say, not the most relaxed and chill country in the world.
Yeah.
So people find psytrance and specifically parties, they find it like a perfect place to release stress and get mad and get crazy and bring out all the energy and all the day-to-day, like run away from the day-to-day problems kind of. So but the scene is specifically in the last year really like rised up. A lot of new productions, a lot of new like small parties and stuff, but it's still a bit hard to maintain an event in Israel due to a lot of restrictions, a lot of permissions, licenses, stuff like that. That's why, unfortunately, a lot of huge festivals that were in Israel, like, you know, like huge festival in Israel, I would say like it's like 10K people.
Really?
This is considered to be huge.
Yeah.
It's 8K, you know, it's like, these are the numbers of huge.
But obviously compared to what's happening in Brazil and, you know, Germany and even South Africa, that, like, you know, those numbers are so small, especially for a country which is so psytrance sort of like focused, right?
Right. Yeah, it is. So that's why it's really like frustrating a lot of organizers and producers, because they say, okay, we are like exporting to the world this genre. The top artists of the world in the psytrance scene are Israelis. So why it is so hard to maintain and to establish an event and to run an event in Israel?
Why is that?
So I really don't have like a proper answer for that. It can be a lot of reasons.
Yeah.
Depends who you ask,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah.
But
Fair.
it can be like maybe the government is against drugs, but drugs are everywhere, basically.
Yeah.
A lot of restrictions, basically. A lot of, I would not say hate,
Yeah.
but it's more of anti,
Yeah.
kind of, to the psytrance scene.
Got you.
Unfortunately, the scene rised up. The reason is unfortunately, but
Yeah.
the scene rised up in the last year, unfortunately, due to the 7th of October
Yeah.
events, and it put because of the Nova Party.
Yeah.
It put the psytrance scene and psytrance music
Yeah.
in front.
Yeah.
And people also started to feel more connected to the music.
Yeah.
They felt that they want to support
Yeah.
the scene and to support productions.
Yeah.
A lot of parties, small parties in Israel, in the last year, have been made in memory of
Yes.
people that were killed.
Got you.
So
So would you say since October 7th, you've seen quite a big sort of influx in like events and like popularity towards psytrance?
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Wow,
Definitely.
that's so interesting. Makes so much sense though. But really cool. Obviously, such a tragic event, but really nice that that's come out off the back of that, and it's kind of put psytrance on a more positive kind of note as opposed to something sort of maybe negative.
Right, and it unfortunately it also like it puts psytrance on more mainstream. I would say you can see news channels are interviewing producers and Nova survivors, and they speak about how beautiful the scene is and how beautiful parties in Israel are, which you would not get those interviews on a normal times. I would say.
No, 100%. I think, like you said, it's to the rest of the world. It's opened up people that would never heard psytrance before, but obviously know of that attack. They know it was a festival, a psytrance festival. What's a psytrance festival?
Exactly.
And it's allowed them to open up and kind of explore the whole psytrance genre, which I think is such a great thing. That's what I'm trying to do with Psy in Dubai. Is to try and introduce people to the genre, because I generally don't think that there is another genre of music which is so community driven and so community focused, like what the psytrance scene offers. Now, what's been your experience of Psy in Dubai? And actually, let's start Dubai in general, right? Obviously, you came to the first Psy in Dubai that we did on the 20th of April this year. Yeah. Now, obviously, coming to Dubai, what are your thoughts of Dubai?
I think it's one of the most amazing places in the world in terms of so many terms, basically, so many aspects. Innovation and how the country behaves, how people behave. And it's funny to think about it, like 4 to 5 years ago, Israelis would not allow to visit Dubai because of their nationality, because it was like it was restricted basically because no diplomatic solutions and stuff like that. If Abraham agreements between Israel and the UAE, that really basically opened the gate for Israelis to visit and to make business and with the UAE. So I'm really happy to be here, happy to be able to see how humanity can basically be positive and make better like good stuff, good things, innovate and build and create from nothing, from scratch, islands and ski resorts in the desert, and it's like insane.
Amazing.
It's really insane. I in the beginning I was like, people look on on Dubai or like rich places, and they see it as like, oh, everything is man-made, nothing is like natural, and stuff like that. I see it very differently. I see it as humanity made it.
Yeah.
It means that we can take things to a better stage, like to a better not only wars, not only corruption.
Yeah.
When the system works well, everything works beautiful.
Amazing. Well, awesome. Thanks so much for coming onto the podcast. It was great to have you. So awesome to have you at both our events. And really looking forward to bringing you out further and having you play, and super excited to watch your growth and to be part of that. And I'm keen to come back to Israel.
You're always welcome
for a couple parties to see you play.
Thank you. And I really appreciate your dedication and your production, and everything is so really like Sign Dubai is going to get huge. I'm sure about it, and I really had the best time on those 2 editions.
Yeah,
I'm really happy to take part.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.